Basically, they just prevent you from making any kind of money to the point where if you are making money, it's severely limited. It's never enough. And yeah, even when you're saving, there's some thing that's happening. Now, I haven't had much experience with money, but that's only because they've pushed against me getting money for the whole time I've been a teenager into adulthood. They push against it, and they try to say that the reason they don't give me money is because I'm a drug addict, when that's not true at all. I'm not a drug addict. I have a drug addiction, but I'm not a drug addict. And the drug I'm addicted to because it belongs to a class of drugs that I used to take and no longer take. So that's why. And it's like a coffee addiction, basically, but they blow it out of proportion because it's the only thing they have. And I would say be careful sharing that with people, but, most of these people who are immediately going to say just because you did drugs or you are doing drugs that your credibility is not there. So I'll say it's all right for people to challenge it and to question it, but to outright dismiss it is quite interesting to me. There's the story of Anya Wick Epstein, who was dosed with acid at one of these Epstein orgy parties. So either the whole thing is controlled op or the girl is really telling you a story about what happened. Does that make her story less reputable? No, it doesn't. Now, if I jumped out here and I said, I took acid, then I saw a giant dragon, then I can definitely understand why you would be inclined to believe that I'm mentally ill. Can definitely see why. But this is the main thing they do. They claim that you're mentally ill, and they also claim that, or it's not that they claim, they force you out of a job. So basically it's not even basically, every application, this is how you know it's all coordinated. They're all sending the same application rejected email back to me. And that's how you know it's all coordinated. And I'm not even going to get into the whole, I saw the Satanists working at Walmart. I'm not even going to get into that. They basically are like a perpetual obstacle that pops up anytime one of us needs money. So that's what they want. They want you constantly eating out of someone's pocket. They want you completely penniless without anything. Completely dependent on the system and whatever benefits the system awards you. So if you don't have the money, you're going to have to do one of two things. You're going to have to sell yourself out, or you're going to have to sell your time in the form of working for a company. These companies don't care about you, are questionable, often don't have good practices in general, and are unhealthy. But what can you do? That's the only way you can make money in this fake game. So basically, all the people at the top keep us at the bottom so that they can rule over us. And these people have free, unlimited access to drugs. Juice WRLD exposed that in one of his raps. These rich people have infinite access to drugs and really anything that they want, further proving that they're just keeping us all here like farm animals. They have all the money in the world to stop the terrible things going on, and they do nothing about it. Because it's not a unified planet. It's a completely divided planet, and the reason you guys are still so divided is because you're too busy arguing about ideology and whatever religion you think you believe in. It's really mesmerizing what an actual awakening will do for you. It doesn't involve all this fake shit. It just doesn't. So yeah, when you actually are spiritually awoken and you go try to find a job, these people are going to be waiting for you. It's like, look what the cat dragged in, came crawling back, eh? That's the first person I'm greeted with upon entering Walmart is a Satanist. That's not a coincidence. Like, they set that shit up. recently I went into a Family Dollar and they hit me with a 666. I'm pretty sure it was the moment I walked in, they said 3 6s. 666. She was trying to fake that she was saying a date. Oh, 6/6, you get it. And that was the fake date she gave just so she could sneak a satanic thing in. Point being, they want you to call it out so they can either immediately gaslight you and make you sound crazy, or they can use it as like a threat or intimidation. It's a threat. It's intimidation. They had some random woman go into a fucking establishment the moment I'm there and to say a freaking number, 666. That's what she said. The moment I arrive, the moment that I see her, she says that. So I basically just pretended not to hear it as I usually do and walked on, because what am I really going to do? Holy shit, you guys just waited for who knows how long for me to arrive at this business so I can buy whatever I'm going to buy, just so you can say 3 numbers because you were told to do it. That's really what it looks like is going on here. You think that on her own accord, she went to Family Dollar waiting for me specifically to arrive just so she could say, 666? No. She was told to do it. Because that's what these people have. They have handlers. And I guess they're loyal to them in some way. I've never seen a real gang stalker who struggles financially. I just don't see it. They usually have some kind of cryptic, esoteric ties, and those people with those cryptic, esoteric ties, Freemasonry, or whatever else they're a part of, they usually belong to wealth, shared wealth. So it's never a problem for them. They never truly struggle with finances, and if they do, it's probably a part of some plan to mold them in a Mason anyway. This is the shit that they try on everybody. Basically, I've never seen a Jewish Freemason, have you? No. You have Kabbalah. The esotericism in Judaism is Kabbalah or B'nai B'rith, whatever it's called. There's no freaking Freemasonry in Judaism. Of course, there's Judaism and Freemasonry by proximity of the Bible, but you see where I'm going with this. They keep people low with no money. And this whole excuse that people have given out for years, go out and work a job, they really have no idea what they're actually stating. They're basically saying, go and continue to sell yourself out to a corporation that doesn't care, that will never care about you, that cares only about profits. The whole thing is a money game. People get their arms cut off over money. There's really nothing good about money. But it's ironic that when you don't have money and you don't have a farm and you don't have anyone else with you that has money, what do you turn to? You turn to God, or you turn to some way of getting money. So yeah, they keep you poor, they keep you suffering, they make sure you just barely have enough to continue. That's the perpetual situation I've been in for years now. They only give you enough to just barely make it through. That's the real truth. With the psychiatric industry, they give you enough to the point where you don't need to ask for more, allegedly. The only reason you would ask for more is if you feel empty. Because this shit is empty. It leaves you feeling empty. I'm not saying at all that, chasing drugs is what you want to do. I'm just saying, they've completely restricted everyone's access to anything while hogging it for themselves and claiming that it's the law. There's a lot of corruption, and there's a lot of police officers that, they must be doing some form of drug trafficking, and they also participate by doing the drugs. So there's this weird double standard, rules for thee, not for me. That's the ultimate vibe I get from all this, and that's the reason they keep you poor, is so that even when you're in a terrible situation like I am, your only alternative is to walk away from it, which I did several times, and it didn't end up leading anywhere. But that's where they keep you. They keep you low. They keep you sedated if they can. And very rarely are you going to have an experience which isn't tailored to you by them. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of what's happening for most people, whether they see it or not, jobs, education, it's being piped in from these esoteric people. So that's why all these people do the weird subliminals. Everybody who's been gang stalked, and I mean truly gang stalked for years, everybody who's experienced it has experienced people walking up to them and doing weird things, saying subliminal messages and more. Everyone who's been gang stalked experiences that, because it's the same psychological tactic. If you want to intimidate someone, you could bring all these people together to be all weird and covert and possibly even say weird things to your face. Weird satanic things. So that's the demonstration of power intimidation tactics they employ. That's why I just always barely have enough to continue. I've been trying to get Xanax for years from the doctors, and it's a coordinated conspiracy to make sure that I don't get any sort of real helpful medication. That much I can see. The medication they put me on is terrible, has had terrible side effects, and I'm not going to get into it fully right now, but what I mean by the subliminals, one time I was going to the doctors, and all I was really trying to do was see if they would prescribe me Xanax so I could cope with what was going on at the time. And somebody had known that I was coming in looking for Xanax and actually was sent into my room. It wasn't any doctor proceeding over me at all. It was just some random doctor sent into the room to talk about Xanax to trigger me. So I'd be like, what are you talking about Xanax for? Because she knew what I was coming in for. She knew why I was there. They brief these people before I show up to certain places, like the hospital or like restaurants. That's why I don't eat at restaurants and at just like grocery stores and stuff. So like they try to play it off like it's normal to do that, and to intentionally follow someone into a store late at night. They think that's something that I'm going to like. I don't truly believe that's what they're doing. I think that they're trying to get a rise out of me because they work for Satan and they're lames. That's really what I feel. The most normal people are going to be like, well, that sounds schizophrenic. I really don't care. Most of you guys are wrong anyways. So why the fuck would I listen to you about what sounds logical and what doesn't? Trust me, if you were getting stalked by over 100, 200 people, you would notice it. It's noticeable. So how do all these people that I don't know and presumably may or may not know each other come to find out about this one person? People would say, if that many people are pointing at you, you must be the problem. Well, no. All this started after I mentioned human trafficking, so it just immediately looks like, okay, we have someone here who knows a little too much, and we need to make him look as crazy as possible so no one listens to him. That's all I see, and they have like an army of bots sent to reinforce the beliefs of others through psychological tactics. It's more effective than you would think. You see all those fake emoji comments in the freaking YouTube? Like, if you see something that you think is like Pizzagate, you look into Pizzagate on YouTube, human trafficking, and there's a bunch of clowns in the comments talking about, bro doesn't even know what he's talking about. Laughing, crying, face emoji, those are bots. And they don't want you to know that because some people have been actually, talking with these bots for years on YouTube. Those bots have been commenting. That's what I mean. Then, if you're a real person who does YouTube like me, and you do long content, informative content, there are the people that sit back and basically spy on you, listen to every word you say so that it can be used against you. There's a few of those people on this channel. To this chief handler, I went through his like profile. He looks like he's working for some like internet intelligence agency that is done to smear or gaslight people, or done to expose people that they're blackmailing. That's basically what his whole account is framed up as. And once you go and read his posts, chief handler, I don't know if you're going to be able to deny that. Seems like they're doing intimidation, blackmail. Even as a joke, a lot of people really wouldn't take, their addresses being posted on YouTube publicly as a joke, especially if that person doesn't know whoever's doing it. So I'm just being straightforward with you on that one. It'd be like if I hacked Chief Handler and posted his IP address alongside a photo of his house. That's a little, that's a little threatening, you say. So why are the people getting threatened if all they're doing is, being crazy and believing in something that the other doesn't? Well, they're either onto something or they're getting trolled. So, like, obviously they're just people who go on here to troll for the fun of it, but then there are those who get sent to purposely derail and make it look like you're crazy, and if that doesn't work and people actually agree with what you say, they're going to shut you down. They're going to at least try to shut you down by, what was I going to say? Yeah, it was important. Bear with me. I have terrible memory now. I can't quite remember what I was going to say, but this is why I'm perpetually poor. If you are getting targeted by these groups, or group within groups, and then, it's probably not very different for you. You're probably broke. You're probably not getting much money, if any at all, and that's all. They do that on purpose. It's a scripted kind of thing. People see my name in the system and they auto-reject it, basically. So these job applications are mostly online nowadays, and it's very hard to find a business now that doesn't use the online applications. And when you get shot down, like when they tell you that you're not worth it, or basically what they do is I would send them the application. It's a legitimate application with a legitimate resume. Every single time I sent it to any of these companies, Goodwill, I'm not even going to name them for you, they would send it back saying the same email, word for word. We have chosen to pursue other candidates for this position. It's done deliberately to force people out of work and into homelessness. They've tried so fucking hard to push me into, like, straight up legit homelessness, where I don't have nothing, which is not going to help me in my situation. It might, in fact, make it worse. I'm already wide open enough thanks to these people. And keep in mind, I did want to be homeless for a while. Like nomadic homeless, but I just don't have the funds for that. I don't have the funds to survive, and I'd prefer at this point to have some land that I can grow stuff on. Like I said, I've been poisoned or drugged, so they would probably poison my plants too. So it's like a whole nother fucking territory. Like, maybe I need to leave the U.S. as a whole. I don't know. But these motherfuckers are everywhere. And given some of the shit that they've been told to do and that they actually did, I'd be surprised to see what they wouldn't do. Like, they're like stormtroopers, bro. Like, they just get sent to do this for whatever money, whatever the fuck they're getting out of this. And they do it pretty much without question. It's not just Freemasons either, it's Satanists, like people who identify with Satan, and they would call themselves a Satanist. Those are basically Satan's children, whether they know it or not, and they've been paraded in front of me in the work area, so to speak, meaning those people are treated better and have an easier time getting a job. You know, there are registered sex offenders that have jobs and I don't. And people still think that I'm making it up, that people, they didn't blackball me. They think I'm just crazy about it. No, they really did, and that's why it's been so difficult to find a job. That's why I had to enter myself into a whole-ass program just to hope for a job. And at this point, I'm about to take the government benefits because I don't know if I want to work for these motherfuckers after how they just did me for several years, leading me on and doing experiments on me. I don't fucking... You know what I mean? Like, my first concern is not really... Like, it's not enough. Like, when you're living with $0 in your wallet and all you have is, like, EBT, it's not enough. You have to be able to go out and get shit like medicine, cigarettes, whatever the fuck. This reality is fucking siphoning, bro. Like, dealing with this shit is draining. And when they do it every single day, it really drains you. You have to get an idea of how draining this shit is long term. I had them drug me, mind control me. I will never, ever leave my medicine. Powder, weed, I'll never leave it out. Because these motherfuckers really drugged me. They did something to my nicotine as well, my tobacco. I don't know how they did it, but something happened with it. And I threw the whole thing away. It was like a big container of tobacco, rolling tobacco, and I ended up throwing it away because these motherfuckers did something to it. I had to throw the other plant I was using as medicine away. It was like a powder, so they put some kind of drugs in the powder, and I took a little teaspoon, tiny piece of this powder on a teaspoon, and it got me so high that I couldn't even read. So, that's not what that much does. So that's how I know the thing got drugged. It's because I took so little of it and it had an effect on me like I was fucking drunk or something. Who knows what would have happened if I'd taken more of that. I threw the whole bag out. So yeah, their final line of defense is to either project or just, accuse you of whatever they're guilty of. And that's really about it. The shit doesn't change because people don't understand. Some people are lazy. Some people just don't see. They don't have the time to research this shit. They don't have the want to research this shit. The only reason I talk about the human trafficking on YouTube is that so people can see it, and maybe they have to stop or something. And of course, but that's the only reason I even make these videos. It's not for clout or attention. Well, I mean, it is for attention, but it's to get the word out on this shit. Because I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself knowing this, and if I didn't say anything. Like, I've cut connections with people that I've known for years over their involvement with this program because it's that deep, it's that serious. Like, if they're in this program and they're doing these weird experiments on you, testing you, trying to figure out how far they can push you, it's done, bro. They no longer see you as your friend. Now you're just like a fucking lab rat to them, basically. So it's time to get out of that shit. You gotta get away from people who treat you like that. Otherwise, you're gonna live in hell.